Hey guys, welcome to The Strong Young Man. The most masculine thing that you can do in your intimate relationship is to maintain control of the frame. Frame control refers to the body of skills and attitudes with which you control social interactions and interpersonal relationships. With some interpersonal relationships, you will control the frame, and with others, you will forfeit the frame. Some interpersonal relationships will even flip between the two, depending on circumstances and environment. In regards to you and your intimate relationships, you must always control the frame. The reason for this is simple. Frame control is a key component of leadership, and women are not built to lead men, nor do they want to, despite what they may say. Women are built to follow and will willingly defer to a man they respect. There is an evolutionary reason for this. Men are physically stronger and were tasked with the responsibility of leading weaker members of the tribe through dangerous parts of the jungle. If at any point in time women were leaders, they would have led themselves into dangerous scenarios from which they were unable to escape from. So nature selected for women who did not desire to lead. Men have also evolved to favour women who are cooperative and willingly followed them. A cooperative woman is more reliable during the months where she was immobile while pregnant, and hence this may have evolved through means of sexual selection too. Women have also evolved to be compassionate on a superior level than men, and compassionate leaders don't make good leaders. To lead a group of people, you need to be able to swiftly make the right call at the right time, using rationality, whilst remaining divorced from emotionality. Unfortunately for women, their biology has evolved to create survival instincts that detect emotions and react according to how they feel. Our ancestresses developed this characteristic to be more tuned into their environment, and hence this gave them a survival advantage. Their physical inferiority required them to develop their strengths in other areas, and this has resulted in an increased response to social cues and people's emotions. This emotional response is highly erratic and is not the best way to make important decisions. A woman's social and emotional fortitude will cause her to become clued into your ability to lead, and she will be aroused proportionally by your ability to do so. When you understand all of this, you can begin to structure your intimate relationship so that you control every aspect of every interaction. You set the frame of reference, you enforce the boundaries, and she can either join you or not, but she must enter your frame for the greatest relational satisfaction for both men and women. It has been statistically proven that the happiest intimate relationships for both men and women is one where the man is the authority in the relationship, and the woman respects him enough to follow. Good women look to strong men to lead them. These are the best women to date, and they will bring you the most happiness. Here are the key assertions that you need to become accustomed to if you are to maintain frame control. Number 1, take the lead. You must take the physical lead in everything that you do. Walk half a step in front of her. When you hug her, make sure your arms are higher than her arms. When holding her hand, make sure your hand is on top and in front of hers. This means that you are in the lead. Use your masculine presence to move her in the direction that you intend to walk. A good woman will react well to positive masculinity. Remember, women want to be led. Society tells women that they need to be strong and independent, but they don't respond well to this at all, even if they say that they like the idea of it. Statistically speaking, the unhappiest demographic of women are women who are over 40, single, and earning over $100,000, the most independent type of woman. As a rational male, you must pay attention to what yields results and what women respond to, not what a woman says. Understand that women have absolutely no idea what they are aroused by, as proven by M. Shivers and J. Bailey in 2005, study linked in the description. If a woman is adamant that she wants to control the frame, then it's likely that she has not observed a good example of a strong man with positive masculinity, and this should be a red flag. Number 2, organise everything. You must organise everything that you do with women. You must step up and be responsible for where you go, what you do, at what time, and what attire you wear. No time is this more critical than on the first date. This sets the frame for the entire intimate relationship. If a woman doesn't cooperate on the first date, then she belongs to the streets. She will not be able to provide you with a satisfactory intimate relationship. She is not a good woman, or she doesn't have sufficient attraction for you that would make for a good intimate relationship. There should be no hard feelings. A good woman appreciates a man who takes the lead. If women were left to make their own choices, they would self-destruct. Women become agitated and can spend hours struggling to come to a decision on something as menial as an outfit. Don't task them with the responsibility of choosing anything. It causes them great suffering and will cause them to lose attraction for you. They will associate their suffering with you, and they will assign blame to you and your inability to lead her. There are no exceptions to this, even for special occasions such as her birthday. Allowing a woman to choose will waste time, and this will only increase your frustrations. Her attraction for you will evaporate. You will deprive her of the gifts of masculine clarity and decisiveness, and this will repulse her. The woman will then be forced into making her own decisions, which will magnify her own masculine side, causing her to draw you into her frame, rather than the other way around. Step up and lead her, and this will arouse her. It's okay for a woman to make suggestions, but they are just that, suggestions of where she wants you to lead her. She is deferring to you for guidance. She suggests, and you make the final call. You should never abdicate your masculine logic and rationality to blindly trust a woman's direction. Be open to changing your perspective from what a woman might reveal to you, but in the end, you should take responsibility for making the decision for both of you. After some time, she will begin to defer to you on all matters. This is the best protocol to ensure the most fulfilling intimate relationships. Number 3. Control the finances. Understand that maintaining the control of your finances also keeps you in control of the frame in your intimate relationships. Despite what all women say, they do not want to be in control of the majority of the financial decisions around non-consumable purchases. If you permit your woman to have any financial authority over you, she will lose all respect for you. You need to lead her. It is a fair exchange. You pay for the bills and she defers to you for authority. Great power requires great responsibility. In addition to controlling the finances, you must keep your financial wealth a secret from her. By not telling her, you keep a sense of mystery, which is a powerful tool that you can use to build attraction. Her imagination will run wild and will permit her to dream up her deepest fantasies about the mystery of your wealth. The curiosity of the unknown will have her transfixed, and it will ensure that she allows you to continue to control the frame. The unknown status of your finances will continue to appeal to her sense of mystery, and this ensures that she continues to remain in your frame as long as the information is withheld. In the words of 17th century prostitute Ninon de l'Enclos, a woman is much better persuaded that she is loved by what she guesses than by what she is told. Number 4. Control the sex. Nothing lubricates a woman faster than her man taking sexual control when he has her consent. This is why 50 Shades of Grey is such a popular book among women. It plays to a woman's sexual desire to submit to a strong masculine authority, something that greatly arouses them. Women have been indoctrinated to falsely believe that we live in a society that enables and encourages rape. Feminism has evangelized this misunderstanding to solidify female empowerment. Due to the pervasive myth that we live in a rape culture, the disciplined variety of sex, where the woman fully submits to her man, has become marginalised almost into non-existence. Men, understandably, are petrified to exert any form of control over women in the bedroom for fear of a false rape accusation. If you rape a woman, you should be prosecuted, and every single case that can be proven follows this logic. A rape culture implies that we have a system that enables and encourages rape, and this is simply not true. Rapists who are guilty should always receive their due process. They should always be considered innocent until proven guilty. Rape is such a sensitive issue, even for the most masculine man. Through this social convention, men are being trained to completely defer to a woman in the bedroom. A woman's desire to sexually submit to a man has been left almost completely unfulfilled due to the majority of men now unwilling to do so. The reason 50 Shades of Grey has taken off in popularity is because it strikes at this repressed sexual desire that is so elusive to women today. Most women are severely deprived of positive masculine sexual energy, and it is increasingly likely that a woman has had to repress this desire. Your own unique style of masculine sexual control will come across as refreshing when you provide her with something that is so elusive in the 21st century. It demonstrates that you are able to lead on all fronts, and this will further solidify her place in your frame. Number 5. Don't commit to her. When you formally commit to a woman, she has reached relational paradise. A woman's relational success is judged on her ability to keep a high-value man around after sex. When you make this commitment official, you forfeit power over to her. Much like women are the gatekeepers of sex, men are the gatekeepers of relationships. She forfeits the power over to you after sex, and you relinquish some of that power after you commit to her. If you want to keep a woman operating in your frame, you need to keep her close, but not too close. Closeness and arousal are opposing forces. As you become closer to a woman, her arousal for you wanes. On the other hand, creating distance will often inflame arousal. Absence diminishes little passions and increases great ones, as wind extinguishes candles and fans a fire. Francois de la Rochefoucauld. Don't be afraid to keep some distance between you and your woman, and one way that you can do this is by not committing to her. Another way that you can do this is by not living under the same roof. Understand that as a man, you should never initiate the conversation of taking your relationship to a formal level. Leave this for her. She must enter your frame so that you can control it. Part of being the gatekeeper of relationships is that she tries to enter the gate, and you either let her or you don't. It's the diametric opposite of women who are the gatekeepers of sex. When you know that she is ready to join you, you have the leverage to control the frame. By keeping her at arm's reach, she will feel as though she could lose you at any time, and this makes her work harder to stay in your frame. Number 6. Generate competition anxiety. Competition anxiety is a friendly reminder to your woman that she must compete for your attention. The constant reminder gives a woman the drive she needs to continue to earn your attention. If you are able to demonstrate that you have the option to leave her for someone else, a woman will be more inclined to yield to your assertions than risk losing you. The reason this works is because our brains have evolved to associate isolation with death. This is especially the case with women who are much more vulnerable during the brutal Paleolithic era. If you leverage this anxiety to your advantage, you will ensure that you are able to maintain frame control. A woman loves the idea that another woman desires you. It justifies her attraction for you. The reason that women will deny that it's a good thing is because women do not want you to become aware of this and leave her for another woman. Nothing is more threatening yet simultaneously attractive to a woman than a man who is aware of his own value to women. Rollo, Tomassi. If you continue to prove that you are a sexual commodity, this will paradoxically generate attraction. People always gather around those who have already generated interest. It is human nature to want what other people want. To keep a woman in your frame, you must create an aura of desirability. It will become a point of vanity for her to become the preferred object of your attention. You must ensure that you are able to demonstrate that other women find you desirable to satisfy her cravings. Manufacture the illusion of this popularity by associating with members of the opposite sex, including acquaintances, former relations, and other present suitors. Demonstrate that you remain in touch with the sexual marketplace and you could exercise your options at any time. Associate with other women and engage in conversations that imply you have the ability to take it to a sexual level. Flirt and create a perceived rivalry for your present suitors by using other women to demonstrate your higher value. These may even be women you aren't trying to seduce. Remember, the goal is to imply that you have options. Whether you choose to capitalize on an option is up to you within the confines of your intimate relationship. Build a reputation that precedes you, and you will find it easier to seduce more and more people. This will only further build your reputation. Remember, if others succumb to your charms, there must be a reason. A woman will see that you have value, and she will change her behaviour to ensure that she continues to receive this value. A woman will become more submissive and less combative in order to preserve the relationship. Remember, the power in any relationship lies with the one who needs the other the least. Demonstrating that you need her less than she needs you puts you in the best position to assert dominance and control the frame. Creating competition for your affection between other women is not the only way that you can generate competition anxiety. Activities, hobbies, and even your job can all be used to remind a woman that your life and happiness extend beyond her company. Sometimes this can be enough to ensure she remains in your frame. Do not go too far with competition anxiety. It should be used as a tool to maintain frame control. Everything depends on the target. People who possess high levels of self-confidence should be pushed to the absolute limit of anxiousness. The women who are deluded about their own value will require higher amounts of competition anxiety, and you should always seek to keep them in this anxious state. People who are riddled with insecurities will become sufficiently anxious to a diffuse dialect of competition anxiety. Use the minimum amount necessary to ensure continued compliance with people like this. Generating too much competition anxiety for the insecure can cause psychological disturbances that can negatively affect the ability to sustain a fulfilling intimate relationship. If you go too far demonstrating your options, you could lower a woman's self-esteem to the point that they are too insecure to enter your frame. It will become more of a tyrannical parent-child relationship, and this is not conducive to relational satisfaction. While uncommon, especially with women today, a woman will be unable to develop positive emotions towards you if you are too heavy-handed. Balance out periods of competition anxiety with periods of reassurance that suit the individual to create a polarizing push-pull dimension to the relationship. This will inflame attraction sufficient to be able to exert frame control. Number 7. Make your purpose priority 1. A woman doesn't respect a man who is always available because he has nothing productive to do. By having a purpose, you keep yourself sufficiently busy to allow you periods where you withdraw your affection. What withdraws or seems scarce increases respect. Everyone understands that absence makes the heart grow fonder, while familiarity breeds contempt. Seldom set foot in your neighbour's house. Too much of you and they will hate you. Proverbs chapter 25 verse 17. Without constant presence, we imply scarcity, and by extension we imply value. It's in human nature to desire what we cannot have. Allusions to this aspect of human nature can be found in biblical stories of first humans. Of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. Genesis chapter 2 verses 16 to 17. In case you aren't familiar with the story, Adam and Eve ate the forbidden fruit. What we can't have is more desirable. This psychology exists in other animals in nature. Some dogs only want to play with their toy if you have it, losing interest the moment that they get it. Cats exhibit this too, only enjoying a piece of string if it's just far enough out of reach. This is formerly known as the cat string theory. Not always being available increases value. Withdraw temporarily, limit your presence, and give out attention intermittently. These are all great techniques to use if you are taken for granted. A benefit to withdrawing is that you allow a woman to spend time with her girlfriends. If you're a man that brings sufficient positive masculinity, she will return to you craving that masculine fortitude that you provide for her. If you bring more value to a woman than her friends bring to her, which you should always strive to do, she is able to see this contrast when you withdraw. Also, if you ghost her during her girl time, you indicate that you are secure in your attachment, and her imagination will start to wonder what you're up to. Allow your woman to indulge in the pleasure of permitting her imagination to take flight. In your absence, a woman's emotions will lead her to dream up scenarios of what you're up to. Regardless of whether or not these are accurate, this will all serve to increase your value, because the longer a woman spends daydreaming, the more emotionally invested she becomes. According to Ninon de l'Enclos, love never dies of starvation, but often of indigestion. Upon your return, the time that you do allocate to a woman will mean more because of your increased value through scarcity. She will be more inclined to yield to your authority. By setting up conflicting signals such as desire and indifference, you inflame a woman's desire to possess you. Going even further with this, you can periodically demonstrate to your woman that you could very well do without her company. Demonstrate that you don't need her. This was how the great coquette Josephine de Beauharnais seduced the inseducible Napoleon Bonaparte. Her hot and coldness had him transfixed. From Arthur Schopenhauer, Counsels and Maxims. And in this view, it is advisable to let everyone of your acquaintance, whether man or woman, feel now and then that you could very well dispense with their company. This will consolidate friendship. Nay, with most people there will be no harm in occasionally mixing a grain of disdain with your treatment of them. That will make them value your friendship all the more. Chi non estima stimato, as a subtle Italian proverb has it. To disregard is to win regard. But if we really think very highly of a person, we should conceal it from him like a crime. This is not a very gratifying thing to do, but it is right. Why, a dog will not bear being treated too kindly, let alone a man. Understand that there is no harm in mixing a grain of disdain with your treatment of a woman. This will make them value the relationship all the more. Imply that they have lost your attention permanently, even if it's only for a minute. Often we don't appreciate what we have until we realise that we could lose it. This will serve to remind a woman that you have something that she doesn't have control over, your attention. It will reinforce to her that you value her less than she values you. This is an excellent tactic to use if she is behaving badly and you need to enforce some boundaries. It also works well if she temporarily takes frame from you and you need to get things back on your terms. When reality intrudes, distance is often the most effective measure to take. Of course, you can only do this when she is dependent on you already, so that it remains beneficial for her to stay with you. Number 8. Pass shit tests. A woman will constantly test a man's capacity to demonstrate positive masculinity by asking him questions to see what she can get away with. Sometimes a woman will even make a request in plain English, not to get him to do something, but to see if he is so weak that he will do it. In such cases, if the man does what she asks, she will be disappointed and lose respect for him. Think of this like regular class examinations that test your capacity to perform in school. You must pass a woman's shit tests in order to be a qualified masculine man. If you are able to consistently demonstrate positive masculinity, then a woman will feel safe in your leadership. You have demonstrated that you are capable of leading and capable of protecting her from external forces that attempt to penetrate your boundaries. Consistent failure will repulse her because you are demonstrating that you aren't capable of leading and protecting her. Some ways in which a woman can test a man include complaining about his behaviour, demanding she lead him, changing her mind to infuriate him, and demanding attention when he is busy. A woman will continue to shit test a man for the entire duration of the relationship in the hope that he resists her assertions. This serves as a continued reminder that she is with a man that is capable of leading her and protecting her at all times. A woman loves testing you, and she loves it even more when you are not moved off course by her challenges. You pass the shit test the moment you check her, reject her assertions, or call her out on her bullshit. The longer it takes you to assert yourself, the more you allow her to walk all over you, and the more her attraction for you wanes. Early in the relationship, you need to disagree with her as soon as you can to establish the frame early on. Demonstrate that you have the ability to think for yourself and that you aren't afraid to upset or offend her. Paradoxically, this will actually increase the attraction she feels towards you. Number 9. Punish bad behaviour. Women may also take their shit test to a practical level by deliberately behaving in a way that is inconsiderate or disrespectful. For example, being late without notice. Do not let any bad behaviour slide, especially in the beginning. If this is the first date, then kick her to the curb. In my experience, a woman who has been late on a first date without notice has always demonstrated several other red flags. They have never been worth it. Women will often be on their best behaviour early on in the relationship, but at some point they will take their test to a practical level to see what they can get away with. Be on the lookout for this moment when it happens. It's a key milestone in the relationship. You need to assert yourself the moment this happens to formally establish the lines that she cannot cross. If she becomes combative in this instance, then you will never be able to get her in your frame and you must show her to the streets. Whether combative or not, you need to tell her that her behaviour is unacceptable and it will not be tolerated. This is likely the positive masculinity that she so desperately craves. This is how you command respect, and it is certain to arouse her, although women will never admit to this. If you are able to assert positive masculinity in this instance, a woman will happily fall back into her preferred state of feminine energy. You have confirmed for her that you are a suitable masculine man, capable of leadership, and she will defer to you. If she disrespects you in the same way again, then you must punish the bad behaviour the moment it happens. This is not negotiable. You must follow through. People need to know that there are consequences to their actions, and failure to punish will reinforce the bad behaviour. Rewarding the bad behaviour is even worse than failing to punish, because positive reinforcement encourages the behaviour in the future. You need to make her feel uncomfortable, to make her realise that there are consequences to her actions. Use the minimum force necessary to yield the intended outcome. Make sure you are drawing a clear link between the undesired behaviour and the punishment, so that she associates her behaviour with that punishment. Punish bad behaviour in the same way that you would with a child or a dog. Again, use the minimum force necessary to yield the intended result. Another thing to consider is that if you are not capable of calling her out on her bullshit, then let your actions do the talking. Ghost her for a week and show her that you won't give her the benefits of your masculine clarity if she continues to defy you. To gauge her acquiescence, follow up with a compliance test to see if she has learnt that the undesirable behaviour will not be tolerated. Most women won't be used to this kind of treatment due to absent or incompetent fathers. These women have most likely never had a boundary enforced on them by a man. Don't continue this narrative for them. It does them more harm than good. If a woman is not used to masculine authority, then this should be a red flag. It should alert you to the fact that they did not have a strong, masculine and virtuous father. Refer back to episode 44 for this and other red flags. Don't enable this bad behaviour, even if you have no interest in this woman anymore. Use this opportunity to practice enforcing boundaries on uncooperative women so you build upon this ability for the future. It is much easier to develop assertion techniques on women that you want absolutely nothing to do with thereafter. Assert your boundaries on this disagreeable woman and then discard of her. A woman will come to respect a man who lays down secure boundaries. When she respects you, she will come to love you. A woman is not capable of loving a man that she does not respect. Don't be passive. Be assertive when a woman steps out of line. Be masculine, be firm, and be direct. If she is a good cooperative woman, she should yield. If she does not, then send her to the streets. Disagreeable, uncooperative, combative women will bring you the least satisfaction in any form of relationship. There is only room for one masculine presence in a relationship. Keep it that way to avoid overcrowding. Once you become well versed in these key assertions, you can begin to insinuate your masculinity into your intimate relationships to stronghold the frame. Remember, it's a man's job to set the boundaries. A woman can either join you or not, but she must enter your frame for the greatest relational satisfaction for both of you. Don't be afraid to lose her. If you have high enough value and sufficient positive masculinity, then she is a fool to give you up. Don't let your fear of losing her prevent you from enforcing boundaries. Punish bad behaviour to exert a two-pronged effect of asserting yourself and correcting her bad behaviour. Send her to the streets if the bad behaviour continues. Understand that good women look to strong men to lead them. Right now we have an epidemic of weak men, and it is easy to stand out as a positive masculine presence. By possessing a strong masculine presence, you will attract the best quality women. These women will bring you the most happiness. Remember, a woman enters a man's frame, a man does not enter hers. Never is this concept as clear-cut as in a monarch. A woman who marries a king receives the title of queen consort, but king is only given to a monarch who inherits the throne and can reign. A man that marries a queen only receives the title of the prince consort. Thanks for watching today's episode. In episode 52, I'll talk about the importance of drinking uncontaminated water. Subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified when it drops. Catch you then.